Check one. 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 Okay. Check one. 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 Okay. Check one. 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 Okay. Check one. 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 Okay. Check one. 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 Okay. Check one. 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 Okay. Check one. Check one. Check one. Check two. Check three. 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 Check one. Check two.
going on, douche?
Matches Malone.
How are you doing? I'm waiting for some clients to show up. I have a half an hour before I'm supposed to work.
Oh yeah, acupuncture stuff.
At the spa. I'm actually 10 minutes from where everybody's meeting at in Thames Channel.
Oh, no kidding. That's cool.
So I might go over there. How are you doing? I heard you had surgery. You feeling better?
I had the surgery postponed. I'm actually supposed to have it in a week or so.
All right, cool, cool. Yeah, the solar eclipse, all that craziness.
Yeah. This so this my cousin's actually the person. He's not in the channel right now. I was before he gets on, I'll let you know. I'm starting to see this acupuncture doctor, like dating wise.
Wait, what? You're starting to date an acupuncture doctor?
Yeah.
You and your wife?
No, just me.
That's cool.
That's your jam, right?
Yeah, I do the acupuncture and stuff. I do acupuncture, massage therapy, and some physical therapy or fitness.
Her specialty is in vitro fertilization. Like she deals with soon to be moms and stuff.
That's cool. It's good stuff and it's rewarding. It's funny because the acupuncture does a lot, but we address things a lot differently than most of the Western doctors.
Dude, it's something. It's one of those things. I'm a smart guy. I know a lot about a lot of things, but I don't know anything about that.
So many little things. I mean, we learn a lot in school, so I can't imagine why, or I can't imagine the other doctors not knowing the same things, but little tiny things like when they're trying to conceive, their temperature when they ovulate is 1 degree higher than their normal temperature.
Yeah, yeah,
So, like little stuff like that, not missing those moments is what tells you whether or not you even need to go further with the testing. Some people are just bad at the timing or the actual thing.
yeah.
How's it going, Jules?
Hey, what's up, man?
People, what are
All
you thinking, man?
right.
Are we bullish? Are we bullish still?
Yeah, well, I think we might have hit a top for now. At least I haven't been checking out BTC. I've been on Sol, and Sol to be looks like it hit like the top of the channel. Wait a minute. Hold on. No, I was looking in the linear. Yeah, it's hit the top of the channel, so I might see it kind of hitting its top for now, but it did just kind of pop over its the resistance that was there at 32.42. So we'll see what it does, but I wouldn't be surprised if it heads back towards the bottom of the channel again. That's what's on my screen right now.
Nice. I had somebody was saying it lines up really well with the Wyckoff for the whole 2 year, 4 year cycle.
The 4-year Wyckoff for BTC.
Yeah, I have it somewhere. I'm trying to find it so I can upload it. Somebody showed it to me.
4-year. So I see. Since let's see. It's been a while since I messed with Wyckoff. So okay, so what's going on? We got Matches Malone here out of Florida. Who else? I think it's just a small little group for us right now. Let's see.
That's just me from California.
Yeah, is your friend coming back on?
He had a late night last night, so he said he would gonna take a nap.
Gotcha.
Yeah, but I have one more guy that's coming on. but probably trying to figure it out. So we can just go ahead and just continue.
Okay. So you got were you able to get that verification done on KuCoin? Hey, Matches, who do you use? What's your exchange? Matches, did I lose you?
Yeah, I couldn't find my button. Right now I'm mainly on KuCoin on Mexi.
So I tried to get on MEXC and MEXC wouldn't allow it.
Why?
It's because it's geolocated IP address. It wouldn't let me in because of the United States.
Okay, yeah, no, I started before they used the VPN. You would have to start your account, I'm guessing.
Okay, so you hear that, Defi? So do you have a VPN? See, I'm just getting these guys set up. I think I've got them on KuCoin. I can't remember what the KYC issue was with KuCoin, but I know that I was able to get KYC, or I wasn't able to get KYC, but I can trade futures on KuCoin because I think I put like other in the country box or something. Were you able to get anything through or what? Hold on, let's see. Where'd you put it? Oh, gotcha. The chat general. Okay, hold on. No, okay, so no, I do. So okay, and Smokey, if you're in the general, Smokey's kind of new to Discord, so I'm helping. I'm trying to give like basic ABC one, like absolutely the ABCs. There's a how do you explain that? If you hit the general, like where we are in our voice chat, and then there's like a or there should be like a chat icon or something at the top. At the top right corner, there's a little button that says "Show Chat." So that's where he is. That's where he posted that. So the one thing about the Wyckoff though matches is that it's not meant to be taken literally. Like it's not supposed to like look exactly like any of like the designs. They're supposed to have similar features though, and have kind of similar phases of it. So it's funny. I guess if you find one that looks kind of like the chart pattern, then it's easier to see what it is. But when I see it, I look and I see that there's the like the what's it called the like after it hits its low, it makes its first kind of real reach upwards. Then it comes down, and that basically sets the resistance for a while. And then it'll have up thrusts that'll test it. Then the down thrust. There's certain characteristics I guess to look for. So it's not just the making it look like the patterns that you've seen on Wyckoff. Yeah, I'm gonna check my audio real quick. You might get some feedback here in a second. What is that anyway? Gotcha. Oh, I see. Okay. But what's the what is there some kind of convention or something like a crypto trade show going on down there or something? Oh, it's just tame? Okay. Gotcha. Take pictures. I want to see what these freaks look like. Okay, so Defi, you still haven't got the KYC. If you go to futures, what does it say? Like if you try to go to KuCoin and try to go into futures trading, what does it tell you to do? So if you go to like futures.kucoin.com, I think is the link. Which coin? Wow. Damn, dude, that's bold. Are you like did you get like crypto rich in the last couple of months or something? Okay, that's pretty cool though. And you've been doing the high leverage, low dollar trades, but this one was kind of was it $100 trade? What time frame are you talking about? Are you talking about like wait, how long ago are you talking? Cool. Look at this spaghetti chart. Jeez, I gotta close this thing down, man. That's a mess. That's killer. Congrats, dude. That's awesome. Okay. Gotcha. Okay. So yeah, go through that and just see if you can. Like I said, they turned a blind eye. They know everybody in America is using them, but they have a way of like if you just give them a different country or something like that, they typically will still let you trade futures there. Okay, so do you understand the difference? Okay, between futures trading, margin trading, and spot trading? Okay, so that's going to be some of the point of this is to get a lot of the basics out of the way. And here, let me see. I'll clean this chart up. Not that I would like to see if we can use some. Go ahead, buddy. Well, I haven't been on in a while, but I want to use this kind of class as an opportunity to get back on and do kind of more regular stuff. So, come on back, join the club. Yeah, man, this last one's been killer. Did you see my my percentage gain on it? People, it's nice to know people are still talking to me. 7,000%, dude. I saw a guy in Thames with 14,000%. I've never seen anybody get higher than me. Fuck yeah, dude. Yeah. That's what sucks about those small dollar ones. It's like, oh man, I only got $1,000 out of $20. Good talking to you, bro. Okay, so what we were talking about, and this, what I'm setting you up for, because you're probably already set up to do spot trading, which is probably the safest type of day trading. It's where you're not using any leverage. You're only using the money that you put in, and you're not borrowing on it. So if you have $1,000 on it, the max you could put down on a coin is $1,000. Now, if you're using margin, that is where the exchanges allow you to borrow money against your own pot, and therefore you can actually do. I think on margin you can do either do 10 times or 20 times, or you'll hear people say 10x or 20x, and that allows you to, like, if you have $1 in the account, you can use $20 to buy crypto with. However, the difference between spot and margin trading is that when you're spot trading, you can go down all the way. The only way to lose all of your money is if the value of your coin went all the way to zero, right? But with margin trading, there's a liquidation point because you're borrowing on your money. So therefore, if you borrow, let's say 2x, like you have $100 in there and you put $200 down on a coin. Well, if you lose a certain percentage of that, and I think it's probably half. If it's, I'm just trying to think of the math. My math skills are really bad, but it should be like if the coin drops down to half, then you'll probably be liquidated, and all of your money's gone, even though you've only lost, a certain percentage of the there's only a reduction of a certain percentage. And then what I do is I do extremely high leverage where I'll put $15-$20 down on something that I think is going to go up. And when you do, 50, 75 or 100x, if you go down, 1 percentage point, you'll probably be liquidated on your trade. So so if I put $20 down on 75x or 100x, it's about 1 percentage point where that $20 is gone. So a lot of people consider that very risky. In fact, I'm kind of an oddity where I say that there's a way to do this where it's really, really limited on your risk. But like 99% of the people out there will tell you, if you're going to get started in day trading, do not even mess with margin or futures. And I get it, because I think most of the people that do will absolutely get wrecked. Most people that trade can't control their emotions, and they make bad decisions based on their emotions. And so I go into trading from a mindset of knowing what my risk is heading into it. So therefore, I know that, like, if I lose $20, it's no sweat to me. And the gain for me is a lot, or the reward is a lot better than the risk. But if you were to go to any channel and you say, I'm a brand new trader, they'll tell you, whatever you do, don't mess with margin or futures until you know what you're doing. And I would tend to agree with that, except for under the one condition that I hope that the one thing that I can coach anyone or trade anyone is how to take a really risky trade or one with a major upswing like that and make the risk as minimal as possible. And I think if you go into it with the mindset of understanding, that you can make a what normally people would call risky trade, you can make that trade with minimal risk. And so that's kind of what my goal would be to show you how to, like, if there's anything you could, there's a million different strategies out there. And I kind of am really good at one particular strategy. And when I bring other people onto the channel, I'm hoping that they can show you what they do, and so that you can get a little diversity in how you determine what strategies you want to use. But the one thing I would have to say is that you've got to make sure that your risk management is on par, that you don't trade emotionally, you know what your risk is going into a trade, and that way, you can get the biggest gain with the most minimal risk. What I always try and help people out with when I'm doing this is, you're going to lose. You are going to lose. Every trader loses. But let's just make sure that the losses are small and the wins are big. And that way, if you keep a ratio like that, then you'll have a winning ratio and you'll have a profitable ratio. But most traders do not. The market is absolutely meant to capitalize on most traders. And there's a kind of a strategy that I call there's a legitimate name for it, and I forget what it's called, but it's like it's something called like the worst case scenario, or it's called the max pain strategy. And what you have to understand is that for most traders, the market is looking to cause max pain on you. It's looking to take as much of your money as possible, and you almost have to expect that the way that the market works is, if it's going to, like, what's the best possible way that you could get screwed right now, and that's how the market will typically respond. So it's called the max pain. Okay, but that being said, the next thing you'll want to do is you'll want to put money into your trading account. Okay, and how you'll do that, and so basically what the KYC or KuCoin's doing right now is they'll let you have a trading account, a spot trading account. They might give you a little bit of a margin, but until you can get that KYC or that identity issue squared away, they're probably not going to let you play with too much leverage. But you can choose for yourself if you want to mess around with leverage or not. Understand completely that that thing that I explained, though, is that it is absolutely a different kind of animal than playing with just spot trading. Yeah, they're making money off of you. When you liquidate, that's good news for them, the exchange. It's they do make their money off of it. In fact, one of the things that it's very common is, like, excuse me, exchanges will often pay influencers based on, like, they'll give them a percentage of the liquidations that they refer. So if you think about it, like, the market is kind of working against you just kind of by that nature. You can tell, like, how profitable it is for the exchanges. So the first thing that you're going to want to do, though, is you're going to want to put money into the exchange, and that's what all those deposits are. So if you go to kucoin.com/assets. You'll see, hold on a second, assets, you'll see deposit, buy crypto, or withdraw. So there's a couple ways to deposit money into your wallet. You know how the wallets work, because you've been doing the yeah. Okay, good. Yeah. So if you know how to transfer, one of the things, and you have a pot of crypto, so you have a wallets already with crypto in it and stuff, right? So you can transfer Bitcoin to this. One of the things that I do, because it's kind of the fastest way to do it, is I have a Cash app, and with Cash app you can buy Bitcoin and transfer it to your wallet within, I don't know, 20 minutes to a half hour. So so if you need to go just from fiat US dollars to Bitcoin, you can buy it in Cash App and then transfer it to KuCoin. That's how I found is the fastest. I don't know if it's the cheapest. It seems to be kind of expensive. But yeah, so you'll need to put the money into the KuCoin account, transfer it to the KuCoin account, and then you'll also, once you're into the KuCoin account, you're on that assets page. You'll see that you have a number of different accounts that you can transfer it into, and each so if you're doing spot, you'll have to put it into like what they call, like, I think, the trading account. If you're doing margin, I think you can do margin from your trading account also. But if you're doing futures, you have to have money in a separate futures account. But all of those are automatically they're available on KuCoin, and I'm not sure you can have the futures account yet because you have to go through that process, that verification process. And it's usually pretty easy to do. Typically it's just scan the barcode and send. And then, did you get the chance to download TradingView? Okay, good deal. Yeah, see, if you get the chance, so get your TradingView up, like load that program out. Okay, so yeah, get the program up, and then go to Discord. You've got that screen up still on Discord, right? Where you can see like my chart, you can see my avatar. So on the left, you'll see the bottom left. You'll see your avatar, and then above it, you'll see a video, and then like a little thing next to it where you can share your screen. Okay, so I think most people use the browser version. I actually download the version. It works better for stream, and the one thing with me, if you're going to do on Discord, is if you're sharing your browser window, sometimes you'll go in and accidentally forget that you're sharing, and you might accidentally display personal info or something like that. I like the app because then I screen just that app or stream just that app, and you never worry about it like monitoring what you're doing on your browser, so that Discorders or anybody that's watching you can see your private info or whatever. Yeah, what's up, crypto guy? Sure thing. That's correct. Well, big money. I think that the best thing to recommend is that you'll even when you're doing like big money, I don't think you're going to want to do a lot in margin in futures with bigger dollars. I wanted to kind of just give you the ability to make figure out what strategy works best. And that's kind of it's difficult because I think that the one thing that I was trying to I guess avoid is to kind of back you into only understanding and seeing that there's one strategy out there that exists, and that's mine. And mine's weird. It's I trade very differently than most people do, but I found a jam that works. And that's what I think most traders spend a good year trying to figure out their jam. No problem at all. No problem at all. And feel free. This is kind of an open forum type of format. I don't know if you were here earlier when Matches was on, but I'm hoping to get some of my friends to come in here every once in a while, chime in, and even kind of explain what their strategy is, so that you guys can see a little bit of a variety instead of just me. You know what I mean? I'm trying to stream my camera too. I'm not sure if this will work. I don't hear anything background. So a lot of Discorders use push to talk to, and if it gets really busy, that's something that you might want to set up too. That way it's just not a live mic all the time. I set up a key so that anytime I want to talk, I have to press the button. So I have to press the button in order to talk. But like I can, like for instance, if I take my finger off, you don't hear anything. You don't hear anything at all. You see how it kind of clicked out like that. So that's something that I do. But like I said, if it's just us and a handful of people, having your mic just hot is okay. Keep in mind that sometimes background noises affect things. Typically, like if I'm streaming to YouTube, any background music that's copyrighted could flag me. So that's something that on a lot of channels that are streamed, anytime someone goes on and you hear background TV or something like that, you'll hear a bunch of people like, "Hey, shut them up," or even mute them or something. It's funny because I want to give you the basics for Discording too, because Discording is very helpful. There's a lot of communities out there that you can find that have traders on there that are doing things, and you can learn from too. So joining different Discord servers are a good idea. Finding there's a handful of them out there. I can forward you to some friends servers too. Some are pay, some are not. Some are worth it, some are not. And so and that's part of my goal too. Is I have that trading studio website is set up to be able to profit from it, whether it's from like a subscription or a Patreon type of deal, or just subscribing to like sometimes I'll see a setup come up and I'll post it onto my website or something, Yeah. So I wanted to make sure that you guys were all set up and that all of your questions regarding just the initial basic, like getting your account set up, transferring money, understanding the wallets, understanding kind of the exchanges. Glenn, when you would, I'm sorry. Okay, so it's just the three of us now, and it's safe. But we are on YouTube, and so it's one of those things where we try not to use our real names, and it's going to be really hard because I know you personally instead of like my Discord buddies. and I caught Crypto Guy earlier. Doxed you too. It's called doxing. You'll hear people all the time on Discord channels. They're like, "Hey, don't you just accidentally doxed yourself?" Like that's. We try to keep things as anonymous as possible. So, anyway, sorry about that. I didn't mean to dox you, buddy. But we'll get used to that, I guess. I have friends that I've met from Discord in real life, and in IRL, I call them by their Discord nicknames because I don't want to accidentally dox them on the online, you know. Yeah, so it's one of those things that like Daphne and I are going to have a hard time with that because we're family, you know. Yeah. I see this crypto guy for you. Yeah. All right. So, but yeah, as far as the exchange, oh yeah, that's what I was going to ask is, when you were, if you needed to take money from your wallet and convert it to fiat, or how do you typically do it, Defi? So, but okay, but you've got your wallet where you've got your mined coins, right? Okay. So if you wanted to convert that to US dollars, how would you do it? So, but I mean, would you? Is there an exchange that you exchange that Ethereum through to and I guess that you trade it for U.S. dollars? Pancake swap or Uniswap or is Uniswap or Pancake swap? Okay. So those are certain kinds of exchanges. And they're a little bit different than the exchanges that like KuCoin is, right? KuCoin kind of works like a stock market, where and you can trade like that on Uniswap or PancakeSwap, but they're a little bit more differently. They work based on a pool, I think. I think that's I could be wrong, but and if there were more people, like, this is a question matches the guy that was on earlier would probably be able to answer. But my understanding is they work based on like a big pool of money, and they can exchange that way. Like if you could just imagine, a bunch of different people have put their money in and allowed people to purchase their money off of it, right? Whereas KuCoin works more like a stock market type of deal, where you and I want to oh, Jesus criminy, sorry, Daffy, I wanted you to share your screen. So that button on Discord right next to the video camera button where it says share your screen, if you can, open up TradingView and share your TradingView screen so I can kind of start to walk you around it. You can call me Jules. How do you, is it is it BYTE? How do you? It's not one I've heard of, but there are some that that have similar names to that. One of them is. Well, the reason why I have KuCoin going is because KuCoin's the one that I think is the most versatile, as far as allowing Americans in and to trade. Everybody's using MEXC. That's kind of a new one. I think that there's a lot of concern that KuCoin's liquidity is has issues, and I think KuCoin is one of the largest. So I think that when like FTX went down and there were issues, I think that KuCoin was always one of those that they thought was probably going to go down, and so these exchanges are risky, especially because you have to consider part of the reason why it's not allowed in the United States is because there's the SEC wouldn't allow traders like us to use future tradings on the stock market, because you have to have an account with over $20,000 in it, and there's a lot of qualifications for being able to do that. For me, I'm basically unqualified, but I can trade futures all day long on this because I'm doing it on a kind of an unregulated system, So KuCoin and then Mexi, but now Mexi hasn't been allowing me to. I wanted to sign on, and Mexi just wouldn't allow it because they're geo blocking the United States. But Matches earlier said that you could get in with a VPN. My understanding is that so according to what Matches said earlier, that Mexi would allow it. I've messed around with VPNs on exchanges before, but they still knew that I was on a VPN, and they also I think assumed that I was from the United States. So I would still think that if you need a VPN to access it and trade it, it might add an extra risk because they could just stop allowing you to do it and maybe even hold your money, or you'd have to figure out a way to get the money out of it. So I wouldn't mind giving Mexi a try to see if they'll let you sign on. Like I said, just to get the account up and running. Now that he said that, I might do that myself, because Mexi's I hear they're a great exchange, and I've just used KuCoin so long that it's kind of my exchange, my go-to exchange. But I've heard a lot of good things about Mexi, and there's some risk management features that I've heard about on Mexi that I think it would be nice to have on KuCoin. So if it might be something that I might convert to at some point too. Yeah. I think it's just because I know it so well. If I'm using Mexi or something, I'll probably fumble looking for things and stuff, Okay, so on Discord, go to your Discord, and where you've got the menu with the 4 boxes in it. Or not the menu, and you got the screen with the 4 boxes in it. Okay, so on the bottom left, you'll see your icon, and then above it, you'll see an icon that says turn on camera, and then one that says share your screen. Yeah, and just pick the one with the trading view on there. Okay, so go one that says hold on. I'm gonna shut mine down real quick but I'll plug it right back in. So give me 1 second. Okay, so you'll see applications, and there'll be a bunch of different windows, right? If you scroll down, one of those should just say, it won't say trading view, but it'll say like whatever screen the trading view is on when it opens. Sure. So hit that, and then let's see what settings work best. just hit go live. I think you're probably going to be good. Yeah, I got you. I see it. Good deal. Okay, so in your screen, I'll follow you along too. But okay, you'll see here. I'll zoom in. I'll go through some of this real quick. If you click on right here, you see where right where it says on yours this is INKT at the top with the magnifying glass, top left. Click on where it says INKT, a little more to the left and up. There you go. Click that. Okay, so what you'll do from here is click on the crypto button right here. And then you can type in any crypto you want right here. So type in BTC USD. So when you're looking for a symbol, you're going to look for the symbol that you want to trade, and then the currency that you want to trade in. Now, in this case, this might confuse you. It's just BTC USD. We're not on the exchange, so this is just BTC to the US dollar. But when you're in the exchange, you're typically not using US dollars within the exchange. You're using their token for US dollars. So in the case of KuCoin, it's USDT. And USDT, like I said, USDT is not it's not the US dollars. It's not fiat money. It's actually just it's called a stable coin that is there to kind of impersonate the dollar while you're using it in exchanges. So you'll see that a lot. When you're in KuCoin, you'll see USD. You'll see the option to actually exchange USD and trade it. You can do it, but most of the time you're going to be trading with the stablecoin USDT. Now, also, you'll probably remember, last year, the Luna collapse. Luna collapsed because their stablecoin fell apart. So Luna had a stablecoin, the US, their version of the US dollar, and all of a sudden it started losing value because there were other predatory or competing competitors that were being kind of they realized they could screw with their liquidity by heavily investing in certain places and then pulling a lot of money out at certain times, causing really big flows in their liquidity. And so when they did that, it caused their stable coin to unpeg, is what it's called. And that's when it loses the actual value versus the dollar. And that's what caused Luna to collapse. So stablecoins also have risks too. If you have your money in a stablecoin, it's just as risky as having it in a wallet on the exchange, which is risky. I keep my wallet on the exchange, but it's just a risk you take. So, but anyway, so how you'll write it down is you see BTC USD is the coin. You'll see that there's a bunch of different exchanges, and that's because every exchange has their own prices and everything based on their users. So it's typically pretty close, but what's going on Crypto.com and Binance.com is going to be different than what's happening on MEXC or KuCoin too. There are even traders that are called arbitrage traders that take advantage of that. Like for instance, they'll see that that prices dropped on for Ethereum on KuCoin, but they'll see that the value's still really high on another exchange. They'll sell it out of that other exchange and buy it cheaper on KuCoin in that situation. And that's called arbitrage trading. It's nothing I've ever done, but I do know of people that have done it, and I do know people that make money doing it. So it's you pay attention to stuff like that, you can find little ways of making it work. In those situations, there are also fees involved with trading too. So the only time you'd ever want to do a really good arbitrage trade would be one when you know that the fees would be mitigated and just absorbed in the profit. So my point being is you don't have to choose the KuCoin exchange, and you can do that. Like for instance, you can go through this part right here where it says all sources, and you can pick just KuCoin right here, and it'll only show you the coins that are on KuCoin. But I don't do that because oftentimes KuCoin only has a limited history. And sometimes, there are better indicators for how the coin is doing overall, and most of the time I'm not as interested in KuCoin specific, and the only time that I would see it being a kind of a problem is if there was like an arbitrage issue where KuCoin was off and the rest of the market was a different price, but I don't know that that's ever happened. So I typically will pick which chart, which coin I'm going to look at based on kind of how long the history is and how long and whether I know that exchange has a lot of liquidity. Like Binance is a good one, Crypto.com is going to be a good one, Coinbase is a good one, Bitstamp's a good one, Gemini is a good one, Kraken's a good one. There's I'll pick names like that I know are kind of bigger named exchanges, but mostly I'm more interested in the history most of the time. I'd like to have a coin where if I go back in time for a long ways, I can see that they have, like the one I'm looking at starts in 2011 for Bitcoin. Sorry, just drinking a little water. But so you go ahead and pick. Let's see, the BTC that I use is the Bitstamp one. That's the one I have right now. So just for the sake of picking one, go ahead and pick that one, I guess. I'm gonna start or find a one where I can. So I have a lot of I call it a spaghetti chart earlier because if I go too long without cleaning up my charts, it just looks like a big mess, And I understand what I'm doing here, but nobody else would know what I was looking at with all this madness. So I'm gonna go to one that's clean. You got it, man. You got it, yeah. And we haven't figured out the another time to do it, but we certainly can, You got it, man. Nice to meet you. You got it. So how much time you got? Defi? How much time do you got? Okay. Yeah, because... Okay, cool. Right on, yeah, because I can go into this. I just want to make sure not to start something that's going to take a while if you've got to get going soon or something. Hold on, give me 1 second. Okay, so there's another thing that I think is that I wanted to make sure to cover on like the first lesson, the first lesson, and that is in KuCoin. There's different types of uh, buys and sales. I'll just call them about buys and sells. There, if you were to go to your trading page on KuCoin, and don't do it. Yeah, don't do it on your Discord window. By the way, I know. I think I think you're safe, but I just want to make sure because there is oftentimes very personal information on these things. So I typically don't stream my like KuCoin window. You know. Actually, I think I can though. Let me. I can do this. Hold on. Are you still with me? Are you there? Are you there, Duffy? Oh, you can't hear me. No, I know. I was looking into something else, but I can't hear you all of a sudden. Check one. Hello. Check one. Can you hear me now? Okay, it should be working fine then. Yeah, you're back. Okay, so yeah, I wanted to get this my exchange window up on the screen so that I could show you kind of the difference between some of the how to actually make a purchase or sell, make a buy or sell. So can you see my screen? Let me see if I can do this in just regular trade. Okay. So here's up here is where you get to choose either spot, you get to choose leverage, which I haven't. It says I haven't enabled it, and then futures, which is a different exchange, or it's like a different way of doing it, so it'll open it up in a different way. But when you go to spot trade, and this is the same in futures and in margin trading, there's a couple different ways that you can set your trade. The smartest one is the limit trade. And that's the one that I think that if you can get in the habit of doing limit buys, then it actually, I think, sets you up for better habits and better kind of mind frames for trading. And I'll explain the difference. Market trading is something that you do if it's more of a FOMO type of way of doing it. However, it can also be used in the right way when, let's say, you're watching a trade really well. And you see that it's approaching your limit, but it doesn't do it, and you think that maybe you missed out. You can do a market trade, and it'll catch it kind of where it's at. So it's kind of more. The market is more of a like whatever the market is right now. I'll sell it or buy it, and it'll just trade it at whatever it can right now. So like the first available buyer or seller of my, that wants to buy or sell from me, it'll just coordinate with them. Whereas limit, it's like it's waiting for the price to hit a certain price before it makes that purchase, right? Oh yeah. Okay, so you're familiar with that? Okay, good. Yeah. Do you do day trading with your e-trading, or do you use margin or leverage with it? Yeah, more investments instead of trades. Okay, so good. So then the difference. When you're spot trading, it really isn't going to make as big of a difference. But when you're futures trading, and in particular with a lot of leverage, I have to be very precise sometimes with my entries, and I still get sloppy. Like I'll sometimes let one of my trades, go beyond the liquidation point, but only to a certain amount. Knowing that okay, if I have a limit here, but yeah, with the way I typically would like to buy or purchase into something that was high leverage is I would like to plan for it a little bit, wait for it to hit the level that I think it's going to go, let it kind of buy the thing automatically, and then monitor it and watch it and make adjustments after that. And that's with and that's typically done with a limit, or maybe a market limit even. And then in order to make sure that I stay profitable, I might also set a profit taking automatically by a limit too. So I'll see one the price increase. I'll know that it probably won't go beyond a certain level, or the safest level to remain profitable would be at a certain level. And then I'll set my my limit buy or limit sell on it to sell half of it. Yeah. So those are the push to talk moments, because you typically, I can hear in the background. So yeah, if there's like a crowded server or something, that's when like somebody will either like mute you, or because or like I said, I use a push to talk. It's like I use the insert button. So anytime that I'm actually talking, I'm pressing on the insert button. Discord does it automatically too, but the thing is that it recognizes human voices. So if it hears a human voice, it's typically gonna transmit it. Yeah, oftentimes it'll like a lot of background noises, air conditions, fans, and stuff like that are Discord does a pretty good job of suppressing it. But yeah, anytime that there's a human or like a TV or something, with a human's voice, it's like that's typically what will get it to fire up. Okay, let me see if there. Did you get a good understanding of how that works? Then you get the the difference between market limit. Okay, good. And then the stop limit too, which is it's almost like it's different than a limit because you set the stop price, and then and that's when it triggers the so if price doesn't hit that stop price, nothing happens. But then if price hits that stop price, it'll trigger the limit buy, which might not be immediate. It'll mean like it hits that level. So now that it's at that level, it knows to buy or sell at this price. Or you could do a stop order where it just does it at the market price, where when it hits that level, it'll just sell it to whoever wants to. So those are kind of the difference between. So if you're below and then it hits a certain level and then you want it to sell at a certain level if it goes down from there. Yeah, so that would be with a stop limit. So let's say you bought something at $1. You want it to once it hits $2, you want to hit a sell at $1.75, right? So yeah, that's how you do it. You'd hit the limit. So the stop you would set at $2, and then you'd set the limit sell at $1.75. Okay, and then so let's go back. So you've got that. Let's go back to TradingView then. Oops. Actually shut down instead of went to TradingView. Okay, so you can look at my screen, I guess, is probably the best way to do this. So this is what's called a candlestick chart, right? And it can be very complicated. It can be very simple. Actually, you can complicate it as much as you want. I'm going to kind of go over some of the features and how to look at these things, and then and I mean these you could spend a lot of time learning how the candles work, and then even customize the candles, because this is one way of doing candles. But you can also do a very popular is called the Heikinashi candles, which it makes sense why people use these. It's like a Japanese version, but I think just for like the uniformity's sake, I'll show you the candlesticks, because that's basically everything's based on the candlestick. So even like Heikinashis, they still have the fundamentals in the candlesticks. But before that, you have one of the most important things on here is the time frame. So what I'm looking at right now, and I'll close this so I can see it all. This is the history of Bitcoin since 2011, right? You can see it? Steph, are you there? Yeah, I hear you now. Oh, gotcha. Yeah. Spacebar is probably not a good one, because you're going to find yourself turning your push to talk on all the time. I use the insert button. I've never had a lot of people use lot of people use useful keys, and I think the insert one's the best one because like you never use the insert button for anything. Okay, so what you saw that you're looking at my screen, right? You see what I'm looking at? Okay, so this is Bitcoin since its inception, I think, because it was probably around the same time that Bitcoin went on the market. And every single candlestick that you see here, these are individual candles. These little guys, these are all individual candles, right? And the timeline that I have is each one of these candlesticks right now is 1 month, and I chose that right here. So this is the entire month of October. It's a good month, right? And this month right here, this is where it peaked right here. This is November of 2021, right? This one that it was the lowest right here, this was November of 22, right? And each one of these candles is an entire month. Now, I can check this by the week, you know. Here, I'll turn my indicators off real quick. Why didn't that work? Okay. So I can, so this is the entire, the history of Bitcoin by the week. So instead of the month, this is just, you know, the last, this is just starting since Sunday, because the week rolls over on Sundays. On Sundays at 5 o'clock when it's daylight savings, and 4 o'clock when it's not daylight savings. That's when the candlesticks close. So this is Sunday to Sunday, 5 o'clock to 5 o'clock. So this is just for one day basically, but this is all of last week from 5 o'clock to 5 o'clock. Sunday, 5 o'clock Sunday to 5 o'clock the next Sunday. And then we can go to the days. So this is just since 5 o'clock yesterday. This is, 5 o'clock the day before to 5 o'clock yesterday. Sunday. This is Saturday, Friday. Got it? And then same thing goes down. I have it going into 12 hours. So this is the last, the current 12. And by the way, this is a good guide too. I have this little clock right here that tells you how much time is left on this candle. So in this case, this is my 12-hour candle, and it closes in 3 hours, 43 minutes, and 40 seconds, and that's 5 o'clock. Okay, then so the common ones are month, week, day, 4 hour, 1 hour, 30, 15, 5. I do 3, and then 1 minute too. So this is literally, we have in this candle right here. Oh, and it'll tell me a second when how much longer is on this candle. Should only be 10 seconds. I don't know why the countdown's not up right now. But you can actually see by the minute. This is last minute. This is the minute before. This is the minute before that. Okay, so a new candle just formed. And now we've got 53 seconds on this candle, which is the one that's forming right here, right? And so as people are buying and trading, these lines right here kind of indicate what people are buying and trading at right now. It's a little bit lower, so you can kind of get the idea that this candle is probably going to be. I use orange and blue because they're not emotional candles, like colors, like red and green. Like it indicates like way too many emotions and for me. So like I like to keep my candles neutral. But that's just a personal preference thing. So I use blue and orange, which drives a lot of people crazy because they think blue should mean up and orange should mean down. But it's just the way that I've done it so that it's not emotional for me. So, excuse me. So the we had a new candle, and if it's blue, that means that it's a candle that closed lower than it opened, and if it's orange, that means it's a candle that closed higher than it opened, right? And the way that works, and then you have these tails too. So and I wish that there was some really good candles happening right now. Maybe I can find it on a different coin, like Ethereum might be a good one, where you can actually, this one's better, you can actually see the growth of the candle as it happens. And in very popular times of the market, you'll see a lot more, and especially like when there's a pump, you can actually see, because there's a lot more people buying and selling on it. So these get a lot more animated during times like that. But the way that it works is when a candle, here I'll draw pictures too. When a candle starts, it's basically just a flat line like this, right? Oops, hold on. Like this. Let me close this. And then what happens is, and that's what, like where the minute is, or like 5 o'clock on the new daily candle, it'll look like this, right? And as the market goes up, you'll see the candle body start to grow like this. It'll grow into, it'll kind of look like this. Only mine are going to be orange, right? So it'll look like that. Well, I'm just moving stuff around. Okay, then as it, like let's say this, we're at the kind of the peak of the market today, and the candle body looks like this. And then the market will kind of take a little of a dip, and you'll see it come down, and you'll see a body, or a candlestick, a wick form like this. And that just means that in that time frame that it did reach that level. But since we're still, on the same day and it's much lower, then the market's kind of doing this all day. And then if it gets higher, then the wick will go up again, higher. Up to there, And then it'll come down, and then a new candle will start at 5 o'clock, and it basically starts like this all over again, right? Then, say for instance, the market actually it closes lower than it opened. Well, in that case, it's going to go down here like this, because remember it started here. It started at this line. And it ended up going all the way to there, and that's that wick is what indicates how high it went during that time frame. But then it kind of lost momentum and went down like this, and went down to here. And in this case, my candles have it blue. This will be blue too. And then here, let me make this. Let me get this to go down to here. And then say throughout the day, this candle ends up kind of going a little higher. Well, it'll go like this, but you still see that it left that blue, that wick down like this, right? So you're seeing these right here, these wicks. That means that the price went down like this and then came back up. Got it? And so on a 1 minute candle, there's people, I don't have the subscription where I can see things on the second candle, but I do know people that actually will pay attention. It's a waste. I don't know why anybody needs to look at seconds, like for real. But you can actually see these on, these candles, they're a little bit more, they tell a bigger story on a higher time frame. So when you see a daily candle like this, what I can see is that here, so this is yesterday right here, right, where the market closed. I'll draw a line right here so I can show you. Hold on. So if we zoom in, yesterday at 5 o'clock, the market closed right here and basically started this candle right here, right? So the market closed at this level, and this candle started right here. Got it? And then what happened from there is the market went up to about 1830, or Ethereum went up to about 1830. or it actually might have gone down first. It might have gone down to 1779 and then went up to 1830, and now we're back just above where it opened at 1798. You with me? Okay, good. So, let's see. Okay, so you can follow the course of the coins. Oh, go ahead. I can't hear you still. Oh, there you go. Okay. Yeah, I don't. That's weird. Okay, good. So this is the just to give you an example. This is an hour. I up here. This is an hour's time frame, right? So everything that's happened in this candle has happened within the last 25 minutes. It opened here, and we've gone down to here. Oh, sorry. It's up. Go to the You have to click on my feed. Oh, that's weird. Let me restart it. Okay. So this is an hour right here. And so what I do with my this is one of the custom things that I do on my trading view. I have it set up so that there's this watermark, so I can always I know what I'm looking at. I usually will just look up here, but if I post my chart somewhere, anybody anybody can see that I'm trading Ethereum to USD on the 1 hour time frame. And so if I post a chart or something, they know what time frame I'm looking at, because that's a very important thing, because everybody's trading on a different time frame. Day traders are trading on the 5-minute time frames. I'm a kind of a long-term trader, so I like the long, and I do weeks and days where I trade. But like, let's take this hour for example, right? Because this is what happened since 1 o'clock. So this is the last 27 minutes. Is this candle right here, right? So it opened at 1802 and just basically dropped to 1797 and really didn't do much else. There's no wick on there, so it didn't go up first. It didn't go down first. That's kind of been the momentum since the top of the hour, right? So if we go down to the 30-minute. Well, it's basically, this is the same candle. It's going to be the same thing because we're literally still in the same half hour. So the 1 hour candle and the 30-minute candle are the same. You see that? But the 15-minute candles are different, because this is going to be the first the first 15 minutes, and this is going to be the last 15 minutes of the last half hour, right? The first, you get what I'm saying? When you go 5 minutes right here, we're 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30. That's what, 6. Oh, I'm telling you, my math sucks. So the last 6 candles are the same candles that would have been in that 1 hour candle. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Basically the same thing. You could see that this is where the market, or where that candle opened. It went down to here, then it came up. This candle for the next 5 minutes opened a little bit higher, came down to here, came up. This candle, same thing. It came down to here, came up. This candle, same thing. It started a little higher, went up a little bit, went down to here, came up. This candle was the first bullish candle that it actually just kind of came up right here. But even though this candle still opened lower than this, so we're still kind of in a downward momentum. It looked like it probably pushed up a little bit, then pushed down, and is right here. So that's the 5 minutes. If you go to the 1 minute, you can see how it happened from there too, which is basically starting right here. You can see that same momentum, kind of. And let's see, this was. Let's see, hold on. Where are we? Oh, right here. This is where actually it started. Is it? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Oh, it was probably up here. Okay, my bad. It's weird that it does that. I'm trying to figure out why it doesn't line up. So it should be 30 candles back, which I would imagine is probably right around here somewhere, even though it shows up weird in my trading view. I'll have to figure out why it does that. But anyway. But you can see within those 5 minute candles how, like, in the last 5 minutes, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, it started here, ended up here, and the way that probably looks is a candle that has no wick on the top, a wick that went down to 1797 and closed at 1798. So if you go to the 5 minute candle, I can tell you that it did exactly that. It came down, it came up, and it closed at 1798. So if I could give you any homework, it would be to do a lot of YouTube videos on candlesticks, because there's a lot of people trade just on the candlesticks, and I'll kind of show you why in a second too. You know how I said that like, let's see, I can find something that shows up on the 1 minute chart. There are patterns that people trade on. Here's a good one right here. Hold on. 1 minute kind of sucks though. Let me try a 5 minute one, because we can get some good bars. Here's a good one. Okay. So this is a very common pattern that most beginning traders know. It's called a head and shoulders, right? I'll show you how it works. Now these lines, they don't have to be, this one's weird because it is slanted. It's slanted a little bit more than most, but anytime that you see a head and shoulders pattern, here, let me find the head and shoulders right here. Okay, so when you see the head and shoulders pattern, I can show you why the patterns work and how they work. Okay, but in this case, right around this time, you see the bulls try and push up, right, and then the bears take over and push it down to a neckline. This is called the neckline because it looks like a shoulder, left shoulder, head, and a right shoulder. Then the bulls push it up higher, 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 higher. The bears take over and push it down again. And then one last time, the bulls push it up. They reach about the same momentum that they got in the left shoulder, and then it pushes down. And then right after that, it goes and typically will this is a pattern like this is bearish, you'll typically see a little bit of a drop after this. And the kind of rule of thumb is that it should be about the same height of the head should be about how much of a dip it got. So in this case, I'll take this tool. I have a special tool for it, where I'll measure the head down to there, and this needs to be a 1-to-1 ratio. So it typically would go down to about there. This one's slanted, so it's going to be, you know, off a little bit. It actually does end up hitting there. So I would say that this is still a successful head and shoulders, because look at, if you take it all the way to where it, hold on a second. If you take it all the way to the low right here, it just took a little time, but this did do what it was supposed to do. This here is the same distance as the head right here. This is a 1-to-1 ratio, and it hit right there, which is where I would have projected it to hit, right? So this is a kind of, and so a lot of people trade on patterns like that. It's a good beginner way to you know, learn about how to trade and stuff. If you see something like this, it does work, and it works the opposite too. There's an inverse head and shoulders. So if it goes down like this, creates a head like this, and then comes like this and makes another shoulder like that. It's the same thing. This is a bullish one because you can count on, well, not count on because nothing's all the time, but you can do a 1-to-1 like this, and this should be where you should project your profit to be, is you know, in that level. Does that make sense? So now a lot of people trade patterns like that. Go ahead. Yeah, so you can short as well as long. So a short is when you are counting on the market to go down, and you buy in high. You actually sell high and then buy low, and that's how you profit on shorts. There's a lot of people that do. The way I look at it, I'm objective. I look at it like just understand what it is and figure out the best way to maximize your trade off of it. I don't think it's bad to short. I don't think it hurts the market to short. If you're shorting, you're still buying and selling, and there's somebody that's buying and selling, you know, from you. Yeah. So I don't like to put emotions to things like that. I honestly just think that, you know, look at it as objectively as possible, and make your decision for your financial gain from it, you know. But yeah, I don't know that it hurts the market. I know that there are you know, the pump and dumps and the Wall Street bets guys. They tend to do really well coordinating stuff like that, which by the way is illegal. You got to make sure not to do that. But they do it in a way where I think they found legality in it, or it's just kind of the horde mentality. There's nothing Wall Street could do about it. You're not supposed to coordinate like that, you know. So you know. Ethics, I guess. Now, the reason why I bring this up, though, is because this candle, like we're seeing this on a 5-minute, right? But let's see what this looks like from 1840 to 7:15 on a 30-minute chart. Oh, this is it right here. So we got it. Oh, I marked it right here. So it still looks like a head and shoulders. You know, it still has the features of head and shoulders. Let's go to an hour. It's getting smaller. So now it doesn't really look. Now it doesn't really look like much, right? You can't really tell it's a head and shoulders. Yeah, well, look at this though. On the daily here, this is let's just say this is October 23rd. I'm sorry, 25th through 26th. So it's going to be 2 different candles probably, but I wonder if it'll be a good one. Yeah, it's a bad example. If that was one that on a, so a lot of people trade just on the candles. You can actually look up, trading, like the candlestick trades, and people know that if it looks like a doji, this is a doji, that there are that this is a tradable candle, because when it actually boils down to what a head and shoulders looks like on a daily candle, it that's not the example, but I mean it would look something like, if you think about what a candle does. Here, I'll draw the line again, like the candle. Okay, so if you can imagine, you've got that head that comes up like this, or the shoulder that comes up like this during that time frame. Then it comes down back to that line, right? Then it comes up and gets bigger and goes all the way to this, and then it comes down and touches that line, and then it goes like this, to be at that right shoulder, and then touches that line like that. Well, people know that if you have a candle that looks like that on a smaller time frame, it probably looks something like this. And so there's a lot of people that do trade just based on what candles they know are going to be bullish or bearish candles. But that's why the time frame is important, and it's going to be important. One thing that I think is a good way to kind of get instilled is that the longer the time frame, the more reliable of a indicator it is. So if you see something on a weekly or a monthly, and I'll show you, because I did really well shorting Bitcoin. Up here, because here this is on the daily, you have a massive head and shoulders, right? And okay, so the other thing too is it's often said that if there is a slope in the direction of the way that you're thinking it should go, that's an even better indicator that the market's probably going to do that. Because in this case, you've got, it slopes downwards like this. By the way, let's see where the halfway mark is for this and see if we've met it yet. Because this one I got in on, and I did. Oh, look where we hit. 1-to-1. See, it's perfect. But this is over the course of this is since November of 2001 to November of 2002. This happened over a year, and this is just what's happened since. By the way, you'll also see you've got head and shoulders right here, an inverse one, that's telling us we're probably going to go that high, 40. That's right at 40 right there. You see it? You'll often notice that round numbers work really well for shit like this. And I'll get into that too. I'm kind of just going off on my own right now. I'm well beyond what I wanted to talk to you about today. I wanted to make sure to get into some charting though, because I feel like if we didn't have that as a goal, then because charting is kind of the fun part, But yeah. So these actually work really well, for some basic trading. I think so. What I would also recommend too is understand that one thing by itself is not good enough to make a trade, right? Like if I just saw this head and shoulders, a beginning trader, and actually I did make that trade as a beginner and did well with it, but looking back, I would have definitely wanted more information. What was I going to say? I'm trying to remember what I just had something else in mind, and I'm trying to remember what it was, but My brain. Oh well. Figure it out later. Yeah, it happens to me a lot. No, there was something in particular though that I was like ready to like it reminds something I was talking about reminded me of it, and I completely lost my train on it. Ah. So, but anyway, one of the things too is the oftentimes the patterns will kind of replicate too. Like you'll see that the first Head and Shoulders on this was kind of like this right here, right here. Um, and if you were to do a 1-to-1, you could see that it took us down to here. So if you were just watching this one by itself, you'd probably thought you were done with it right here. But it went out and it made even more Head and Shoulders as it kind of progressed. So you got to make sure that you're looking at the right ones. Yeah, yeah. So the reason why Head and Shoulders, and I actually think it's a really good one to if you're gonna like get to know chart patterns. Head and Shoulders is a really good one as a beginner because as a beginner they're easy to spot. And the I want to make sure to definitely show you how or why they work the way that they do. They're easy to spot. They're reliable about 60% of the time. So and yeah, I think that's including stock trading. I think in crypto they're a little less reliable. But the reason why I think that they're really good for beginners because they're easy to spot. It's just that like you can see the head, the shoulder, the head, and the shoulder, and if you were like a betting man, you would bet that in Vegas. Another thing so the market typically tests itself too. So very often you'll see, in this case, you have an inverse Head and Shoulders, right? You got it come down to here, shoulder, head, shoulder right here. It comes up like this, and then it tests the line right here. You see it? So it tested it, and then once you test it, and then it's off to the races. And so most traders know to wait for the test and then to go. And again, we're looking at a daily time frame. So each one of these candles happens over a course of a day. This whole Head and Shoulders right here happened from over the course of 315 days. So this is almost a year's worth of Head and Shoulders right here. And this is also the COVID low too. This is the day the world shut down from COVID right here. I know this because I know this. This is a pattern I've been working with for a long time, so I know kind of the things that have happened. But and that's an important thing too, is that all of this is based on the emotions of the people in the market and how they expect other people to react to things. Right, so it's not the market itself. It's people betting or making emotional buys and sells is basically what this is. This is an emotional chart. It's not a financial chart. This is a chart that can actually put on a visual form what people's emotions were like at that time, or what and a lot of different things has to do with news. In this case, this is the day COVID shut the world down, and so it was growing. Actually, we were kind of in a recovery here, and then all of a sudden COVID news started happening, and the world just shut down, and that's how you got that spike down all the way down to, this is Bitcoin at 3,000 right here. And then to see what it did since COVID. And this is okay. So the way I would explain this is instead of like you've got a bull run, this is what happens when you give people money for free out of the government. It inflates, you know, and you get a 17,000% gain from this. Crazy, right? I'm trying to think where to take you from here. I think it's probably a pretty good rundown for one day's work, you know? Let me take a look and see if some of the stuff I wrote down was forgotten about. Oh yeah, okay, so yeah, the fundamental analysis. That's how. Yeah, you know what? Actually, I'm closing right where I wanted to. Kind of. I didn't go over support and resistance. I think that's another important one too. But yeah, so each one of these little candles is a representative of the emotions of the people trading, and based on the news of that day. TradingView does a good job of making sure that news stories are in here. Let's see, I'm going to go back to my other chart real quick. But I have it set so that the news shows up here. I can look at the news by clicking this little thing right here, and I can see what Bitcoin news is. And the best way to determine the way the market's going to go is to really understand like the fundamental analysis, which is based on the fundamental analysis is like when you say that you know that something's low based on like news or like a news event or like something like that, or just the fundamental value of the coin or something like that. Those are the fundamental analysis. When I do my charting and all of this stuff, this is all technical analysis. So you understand the difference? So I paying attention to the news and understanding the fundamentals that change the market is probably the most important thing, and it's probably the thing that I suck the most at because I really don't pay much attention to the news. And that's what these Discord groups are kind of good for, because I was doing a lot of it before, and all my news came from people that were also trading, and so if there was something of relevance, it was talked about a lot. So I don't do that anymore, and I should. And so I'm wondering, should we go into support and resistance, or should we save that for the next time? Okay, that sounds good. So yeah, watch some videos, like YouTube videos on the stuff we talked about, the candlestick charts, using TradingView, stuff like that. I can go into that in more detail, and a lot of that you'll probably have a lot of questions after watching some of those videos and stuff. But when do you want to do this again? Wednesday? Okay, same time. Let's do 10 o'clock. Sorry about that. That was that's very uncharacteristic of me. I usually have a pretty good line on my schedule. That one kind of took me by surprise. That doesn't normally happen with me. Yeah, no problem. No worries. Like I said, this can be done. I think if we do this and I can kind of keep my the YouTube and all that stuff kind of going, then I think that it works for me. It serves a purpose for me. I need an excuse to do more of this stuff and on like creation and stuff. All right, man. So 10 o'clock on Wednesday. Yeah, I'll see you. Bye. And I will sign off from here.